Felicitous greetings, fellow fanatics.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Anthony, and today we're taking a look at Mortals and Monsters Blood Orc, a tower defense title by WandCast Games. I would like to take a moment to not only thank WandCast for sending me a review key, but also for providing 2 additional keys to do a giveaway with. Be sure to check the link in the description if you're interested in entering for that. For now, let's dive in and take a look. In Blood Orc, you'll take on the role of a clan of dwarves that must construct a labyrinth of walls and populate them with towers to strike enemies as they wander through them, taking them down before they can besiege your cities. The game takes place over a series of 22 levels, starting out fairly simplistic, but with maps becoming larger and more complex as the game goes on. The first part of each level will let you construct a maze of walls. Walls are free, but can only be built on stone paths. You're free to construct them whatever sorts of paths you choose, so long as you do not fully block your enemy's way. Although early levels only have a single spawn point for enemies, most levels will have 2 later on. Oftentimes, you can build your walls in such a way to funnel them onto a single path regardless, but sometimes this will be impossible and you'll have to manage 2 separate paths of towers to fend off the attackers. Once the level begins, your walls are locked in place. You won't be able to change them, and your primary focus will be on the towers themselves. You'll have 10 different types of towers you'll unlock over the course of the game, each with different purposes. Crossbow towers, gun towers, and lightning towers are your most basic weapons, each of them simply dealing damage to one target at a time, each with its own damage, range, and rate of fire. Mortar towers and drone towers are great for dealing damage to enemies that are clumped together, as their explosive weapons will hit multiple targets at once. Ghost towers will send ancestral spirits to chase after and attack enemies, while rune towers unleash a beam of energy that grows more powerful over time as it rapidly deals damage to a single target, great for powerful, slow-moving enemies. You also have a couple of support options with steam towers that can slow down attackers, and gold mines that produce a steady stream of gold to bolster your economy. Every tower can be upgraded twice, generally increasing its damage, but often increasing the range or rate of fire as well. You can also sell towers that you no longer need in order to make room for more expensive towers, or to get funds to purchase or upgrade towers elsewhere. In addition to your towers, you'll also have a small number of abilities you can use to help you out. Firstly, you have a laser bombardment that can strike enemies anywhere on the map. This recharges very rapidly, so be sure to use it often. Secondly, you have an inspiration ability which boosts the damage of all towers in a small area for a short period of time. Thirdly, you have a repair ability which rapidly fixes one of your cities. It's technically an area effect, but I've not seen any cities close enough to each other to fix up 2 at once with it. Finally, you can spawn in tornadoes to impede your foes, though after the initial spawn, the tornadoes move about randomly, limiting the control you have over them. Like towers, each ability can be upgraded twice with the appropriate funds. Enemies themselves are honestly quite one note. They move around at different speeds, have different amounts of health, and deal damage to your cities at different rates if they reach them, but aside from that, they're really quite identical. They all just march forward towards your bases. There's nothing that really makes them feel unique from one another. They look different, but they never really act any different. This isn't like, say for example, Bloons Tower Defense, where purple balloons, metal balloons, and camo balloons all require different types of towers in order to deal with them. Even flyers will still follow the same rules as everyone else. The only real exception are siege towers that spawn every now and then and can't be taken out by your towers at all. You must hit them with your laser bombardment, but that's just a bit of minor busy work. On the same note, crates of gold will occasionally spawn in as well. Once again, you can only hit these with your lasers, your towers will simply ignore them. Presentation-wise, the game is quite lacking. Environments are very bland, and while enemies aren't too bad, you're generally not going to be zoomed in enough to care about them. There is a story involved, you get a bit of narrative before the start of each level, but this really is not a story-driven game. I didn't end up finishing Blood Orc. Difficulty was surprisingly brutal. I got 20 levels in on easy, but I really didn't feel the need to go any further. Later levels never felt that different from the earlier ones, aside from unlocking more towers. All in all, it's an alright game, but its biggest problem is that it really doesn't feel like it does anything to set itself apart from other tower defense games. This isn't necessarily a problem in and of itself. With so many similar titles that you can play for free online, it really does make it difficult to recommend. As someone who grew up playing a wide variety of tower defense flash games and the like, I really did want to enjoy this one, and it did hit a bit of nostalgia for me, but whenever I was done with it, it just made me want to boot up something like Cursed Treasure or one of the Bloons games again. I wouldn't say it's a bad game, just rather forgettable. In conclusion, I find Mortals and Monsters Blood Orc to be worthy of a mediocre 6.3 out of 10. Mortals and Monsters Blood Orc is currently available for PC via Steam. If you're interested in purchasing, entering the giveaway, or learning more, links are included in the description. But what about you? What do you think of Blood Orc? What tower defense games do you enjoy? If you have any questions, remarks, or opposing points of view, leave them in the comments down below. And please remember to like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell. And if you really enjoy my work, please consider funding my channel on Patreon. Until next time, farewell, fellow fanatics. Thank you again for watching. I have plenty more to share with you if you're interested. You can click up here above my head to subscribe to my channel. You can click over here on my monitor to see the most recent video that I worked on. Or if you prefer, you can click up here to open this mysterious vault and see what video that the YouTube algorithm has picked just for you.